is because you will not focus on the mountain.
My God, my God.
I'm leaving
Preaching on Psalm
the Bible
121.
Hezekiah says, I lift up my eyes to the hills where does my help come. He said, my help comes from the Lord who made heaven
And earth.
and the earth. What he says
Yes, Lord.
here is that even while we find ourselves in exile situations, we can still have extraordinary expectations. That's good. He said that even though I'm living in a poverty state,
Yes, Lord.
I
Yes,
have
Lord.
the favor of God to put my hands, eyes, and hope of being the head and not the tail, the lender and not the borrower. He said in his word that he come to give me life and life more abundantly, but I can't put my hands on abundant until I'm willing to battle in the valley. Help is on its way because God is in control. That's what you ought to see number one in the text. He said help is on its way because God is in control. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not sleep nor slumber. He who holds you, who keeps you, will neither sleep nor slumber. What he says here is that you can trust that help is on its way because God is in control. Could it be that God has you right where he wants you?
Well.
The text says the text says that Hezekiah believes that he who is in full control will not allow your foot to slip. I just wanted to give them the King James Version just in case they didn't think I went to school. That's what it says in the King James Version, that he won't allow your foot to slip. But when you make it over to the NIV and the ESV, what it says is that he will not allow your foot to be moved. What I'm trying to say is God has you right where he wants you because where you are.
Yes, Lord.
Yes,
Lord.
Yes, Lord. A whole lot more rowdy when the bank account gets a lot more. The church house gets a whole
Talk with it, Pastor. Walk with it, Pastor.
When we are in the midst of electing a dictator for the second go round, the church house gets a whole
Preach it, Pastor Hackett.
when they are sicking pit bulls and water hoses on us. But let us get a little bit of job, a little bit of retirement.
Well.
One black president to the White House, and the church goes quiet. God has you in the circumstances and situations in order that you would be reachable. And some of us wouldn't get on our knees and pray if we didn't have hell and high water breaking out on every side. Some of us wouldn't believe in tithing if our investment strategy would work, if our 401k would work, if the city would divest its entire 401k investment retirement. We would see none of you on Sunday. But God, just like Frankie Beverly, realized there got to be a little sunshine and a little rain.
Yeah.
That he has you right where he wants you.
Well, yes, he does. Yes, he does. He on, Pastor.
Has a bad condition that when God is blessing them, they forget about him. And when God punishes them, they worship him in spirit and in truth. And Hezekiah said, I learned how to be content with whatever circumstance I have in life because God will allow the bitter to affect the sweet in order that he can tap you on your shoulder, whisper in your ear, reach you while you're listening to the radio or allow something to go across your screen on Instagram that will remind you that he is King of Kings
and Lord of Lords.
He got you right.
Right? Yeah.
Hezekiah said that our help cometh from the Lord, and the Lord will not allow you to be moved. And I ought to shout this whole conference room this Sunday morning, that every once in a while, in the midst of the storm, you got to learn how to stand. That every once in a while,
yes, my God.
Every once in a while, when all hell is breaking loose, you got to know who to call on. I told them wonder this Sunday morning, is there anybody
yes, it is. Yeah.
Don't feel good. The report wasn't good, but as for me and my house, we shall pray.
Yes, we will, Pastor. Yes, we will, Pastor. Yeah.
It's peculiar when Hezekiah begins to call him this Sunday morning because he said that he will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither sleep nor slumber. What he says here to us this Sunday morning is that many of us have panic attacks in the midst of a stuffy nose. And many of us are dialing 911 when it's really a bush knocking on the window. Many of us or calling roadside assistance simply when the gas light has just come on. What he says here is that God simply could have